Welcome to the stream, people. Trying to decide if we even bother doing the trainers over here at Casaroya. It just doesn't give us that much. I could go and pick up some TMs. And there's a Sword Stance TM like right over there that I should probably pick up. Out of what I'm seeing, that seems like the most useful. Oh, look at the Slowpokes. Honestly, I never really imagined Slowpoke swimming. I know it's a water type and it does in fact swim, but I tend to think of it more as a land thing. Maybe because it's sort of styled after a hippo? Oh, hello. Might as well snag the tower up here, though. Oh, let's not run into a random Altaria. So, for today, our first priority is going to be taking care of the False Dragon Titan. And sort of the real Dragon Titan, too. They call them both the False Dragon Titan, but let's be honest, Tatsugiri is a real dragon. At least if we're talking in terms of type. Hi, Toxicroak. I like Toxicroak as a Pokemon design. Not always huge on bipedal Pokemon, but I do feel like the Poison Frog theme is a good one. Yeah, so this guy has the TM for Hydro Pump, but the only Pokemon we have that I think can learn that is Azumarill, and first of all, I think it might learn it by level up. And second, I'd probably never use it over Surf anyway. And of course, once we beat the Titan here, we'll have the ability to climb, which could come in handy. Well, at this point, there are very few things I've wanted that I haven't been able to get through just clever platforming. Wonder if you can get the legendaries, the treasures, before the post game. Like, I wonder how little of the game you have to clear in order to actually get all of them. I suppose theoretically... Oh, that's a Jollyman. That's very handy. I suppose theoretically all you have to do is probably pick up the climb ability from Titan Tatsugiri. And I do think the abilities are locked to the specific Titans. I could be wrong, though. I feel like I've checked that at some point, but I'm not prepared to be, like, super confident with it. Oh, oops. Oh my goodness, the lag. I'm just kind of guessing that there are good things on some of these islands. I can't really remember, but... Such a good shot. Oh! Wow, you can just get the life orb as soon as you have the swim ability? I don't know if I ever realized that. Oh, hi, Dragonite. That was the main thing I saw around here that looked worth grabbing. So, I have looked a little bit ahead at the upcoming matches. A few of them I still need to puzzle through, but there are a couple that we probably won't even bother with very careful leveling for. Because I might finish off the Team Star storyline before even doing the Elite Four. I just don't really think they pose a meaningful threat. I should just be able to clear both Clavel and Penny with a pretty simple Sylveon sweep. Sylveon matches up reasonably well against both of them and can easily set up against both of their leads, so there's just not that much thought that I think needs to go into it. I wonder how much XP all the Tatsugiri give. Yeah, I really should figure out, like, I should do the quest for all of those treasure Pokemon at least once. I'm a little bit too fond of Nuzlocks in some ways nowadays. I tend to just do my playthrough to do a Nuzlocke. I don't really do a lot of the optional stuff with Pokemon. I was never much of a Pokemon completionist. Like, the only game to this day that I actually have a goal to fill out essentially the entire Pokédex, apart from like XD and Coliseum where I wanted to get all Shadow Pokemon, but that feels so different to filling out the Pokédex. To this day, the only game that I can think of that I'm prepared to try to get every single Pokemon in is Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Rescue Team DX. I still am working on that, but I've been clearing all of the optional stuff, and I've been slowly filling out the camps. Okay, let's talk through what the Titan, Dondozo, and Tatsugiri have. So first of all, Dondozo... Dondozo is bulky and a pretty strong physical attacker. I would kind of like... So it's extremely bulky, especially on the physical side. I'd kind of like to get off a burn with Hook. But unlike most of the targets that we have, unlike most of the Pokemon that we've used that strategy for, if we take a second hit from this thing, like if we miss Will-O-Wisp, it becomes a real problem. Nana has some potential in that she can take on a lot of abuse. She can get hit a lot and still keep kicking. gonna run around with this for the moment. But with the right setup, especially if she's packing like a covert cloak, real quick. Can you learn Iron Defense by any chance? Or a defense boosting move of any kind? So I know you get Body Press, but it doesn't look like you get any defense boosting moves. Klefki could do well with high physical bulk and reflect and foul play. Klefki could probably do a pretty good number on this thing, but it still wouldn't be fast. I guess there's a couple of fairly obvious plays that we could go for, actually. So, first of all, these 6 seem like pretty obvious choices for trying to fight this thing for a variety of reasons. No Nap hits hard with stab electric moves. It can do a number to this thing. And we can give it the Focus Sash to make sure we don't get one shot. And we're immune to paralysis from Body Slam. So the only real worry there would be if it went for Water Pulse instead and managed to confuse, which we know what my confusion luck looks like in this game, but you know, you do what... There's only so much you can do there. Honestly, Nana is still a really good choice, in my opinion, for just running Eject Button, because there's very little on the physical side that can one-shot Nana, and she can come in, tank a hit, and immediately give a safe switch into something else that might not be able to take a hit that well. For example, Jane is another obvious choice. Sorry, I'm considering some options here. Yeah, see, we don't need the Hydro TM. Even if we wanted to use it. So, Azumarill feels like an obvious fallback, especially because Tiger Lily can come in on the Titan Tatsugiri and pretty thoroughly wall it. In fact, I shouldn't have changed that move. We do want Play Rough here. Well, actually, you know what? We could teach you Dazzling Gleam. We have the TM for it. We could also teach you Draining Kiss, but I think Dazzling Gleam makes a little bit more sense. Do we not have the TM for it, or can you not learn it? Hang on. Wow. Okay, then screw you, I guess. Draining Kiss would work fine, too. Give some extra recovery and a way around. Tatsugiri's high defenses, because Azumarill is just a pretty natural matchup into a lot of this. With that said, where is the Covert Cloak? You know what? For these fights, we really don't have a use for Draining Kiss, actually. So let's get for Surf, actually. So let's get Play Rough in the mix. I don't know why I wasn't doing that already. So yeah, Tiger Lily switches in against pretty much everything here, as long as we have protection from status and like stat drops and stuff from their various moves. Doesn't need to terrestrialize or anything, and should just be able to switch in and chip away with Draining Kiss. But I'd rather use that as a fallback generally, because these guys have a lot of power and could potentially overwhelm Tiger Lily anyway. So, no nap is a pretty obvious strategy. We're packing Focus Sash, so we can't be one-shot. We go in, click Thunderbolt. If it's enough for the two-shot, then we take the two-shot. Otherwise, we Volt Switch out. Very straightforward, very little risk unless it decides to go for its weakest possible move and gets the confusion. Nana is mainly here to be a pivot, especially on the Dondozo. We can send her in, eat a hit, and bring in someone else safely. Pockets is here to throw up some screens and potentially use Torment to limit their counterplay. And Jane is here because she's Terra Grass and decently bulky. She should be able to take a hit or two, and Terra Grass Giga Drain should do a lot. And I think we've reached the point in the game where I'm going to stop using auto-battling to level up unless I actually need the stuff, and just start using candies. I should probably have done some raids off stream just to get some extra candies, but I always forget that Azumarill levels up like insanely fast. Oops. Oh wow. So the small would have been perfect. Oh well. Alright, let's swing by a Pokemon Center. I just want to make sure that we're at full health. I guess we did stop at that one picnic, so we should be fine. I'm also slightly tempted to go out of my way and make sure that it's not raining when we fight the Titan, because that would suck. I don't know why that item that was sitting there just vanished. I love how you can barely tell that the Titan Tatsugiri is bigger than the others. Alright, let's go. Okay, 2-hit KO as long as we aren't... Yep, okay, we're good. As long as we weren't confused, we were good to go there. And that... Hello there. That tells me that we should be fine to go on to the next battle. Honestly, one of the things you can tell when playing this game is that a lot of the cliffs were meant to prevent you from getting some of the collectibles until you have higher level movement abilities. It was kind of a way of gating your options based on how many abilities you have. But the thing is, a lot of the cliffs just don't do their job that well when you can climb them with just a little bit of clever movement. I have autosave on, right? Yeah. You can climb a lot of the cliffs with just a little bit of clever movement, so there's not much point in doing some of this stuff. Also, I'm pretty sure... Oh. Wait, is it even a dragon or is it a fish? Yeah, a lot of the cliffs don't do that great a job at keeping you from getting some of the items that they're supposed to block. But the water does. If you've got a wide body of water, you just can't cross that without abilities. You can cheese a narrow body of water by sending your Pokemon to pick stuff up, but wide body of water, you better have a nearby cliff or the patience to go and get the items, the abilities needed to cross. Anyway, here's Thunderbolt. Sure, Arvin. Oh, 10% paralysis, sure. Full para? Honestly, I was fully expecting the full para. Titan Tatsugiri. Oh, that's interesting. We got a full heal in between there. Either way, I think the play is to switch out. Tiger Lily can deal with this thing just fine. Is that a crit? It was not. Okay, we got our passive recovery. Now for our active recovery. I guess we don't really need the... Don't really need to go for Draining Kiss when we're at full HP. Let's target its weaker defense. See, now if it had done that, we could have been in a little bit more trouble. Like I said, it's weaker defense. If it had taunted right at the start so we couldn't use Water Veil, I would have been a little bit more worried, but as it is, it doesn't have good options to hit us. Especially since Muddy Water is 85% accurate. And can't lower our accuracy thanks to Covert Cloak. This was never going to be a hugely problematic one, we just had to go in prepared. Oh my gosh, their shoes are gonna be so soggy. It's gonna be awful. I should really buy my character some decent shoes, though. Like, these ones just don't look good. None of the starting shoes look good. Good doggy. Does it skip the cutscene because I've got cutscene skip? It's not frozen, is it? Hang on. Oh, okay. I was fully preparing. Okay, it did skip the cutscene. It seems to have taken as long to skip the cutscene as the cutscene lasts. Yeah, Arvin, your mom's dead. That's your robo-fake mom, who is a more caring mother than your mom ever was, so... It's definitely a choice. Do we have Arvin patch things up with his mom? Or do we have his mom be dead before the game even starts? And also she just genuinely didn't care that much about him, but his robo-mom does? Daytime water doesn't seem to be quite as laggy. You know, I don't need to turn around to make jumps as often as I do. Alright, we got all that. So, the remaining challenges are Pokemon League, finish off the Team Star plotline, and go to the lighthouse. Now, I should mention here my level cap policy with these games. So, I used to keep track of separate level caps for all of these, but at this point that just doesn't seem worth it. Especially since it kind of means that you have to fight Arven and Penny kind of under-leveled if you want to deal with them before. It either forces you to do the Elite Four under-leveled, Arven under-leveled, Penny under-leveled, something, just to make sure that you don't exceed the level cap for Nemona. And that's just not very fun to keep track of, like 5 different level caps that are all clustered together. So eventually I settled on our current level cap is the Elite Four. We have to beat the Elite Four before we clear level 61. But other than that, we don't really have a level cap right now. I'm just not bothering. What's more, so the thing is, Arven is level 63, but Penny and Clive, I think, are both level 61. Oh no, Penny's level 63. Like, either way, though, I'm just not gonna bother keeping track of their level caps. We're gonna go ahead and do Clive sooner rather than later. But that's about it. Clive is gonna be super free. All we gotta do is set up a sweep with Sylveon. Like, I'm not even exaggerating, those two are the only Pokemon who need to be involved in the Sylveon fight. With that in mind, I will bring some backups. So, the basic strategy for this fight is to lead with Smee and taunt the Oranguru, so that all it can go for is foul play. Then switch in Peter and, well, maybe set up a Reflect, but then switch in Peter and go to town. Just set up a bunch of Calm Minds and Trailblazes to the point where we can one-shot and outspeed everything else, and we're good. Like, there just isn't a serious backup to worry about. I'll probably get everyone up to level like 59 or something. See, if we let him get out of control, it would be a one thing, because his Houndoom is really threatening, and Meowscarada is just generally kind of threatening, and Gyarados has really good coverage. But we're not going to let him get out of control. Yeah, I'm just gonna... Despite the fact that I have a lot of these, as you can probably tell, if I had used them a lot earlier in the game, we would have very few by this point. Which is why I tend to save them for the late game when the grinding is slowest. Oh. I really gotta learn which of these guys are on the worst level curves. Or, like, the fastest level curves, I guess. Okay. I want you, and you, you. Bring Nana along. Alright, let's check movesets. Only one thing really to worry about here. Oh yeah, there's one thing I want to grab before we do this, actually. And we might be able to grab it here. If not, we have to head to Koskarafa. You guys have Mirror Herb. No, you don't. That's a head rush. Oh, before I forget. Taunt, Reflect, T-Wave, Sucker Punch. Yep, that works. Inner Focus doesn't, like, make you taunt immune in this generation or something, doesn't it? Does it? It locks Intimidate. Okay. That's all they added, according to Bulbapedia, anyway. There's at least one scenario that I do want to go out of my way to prepare for. It would be a really big problem if somehow the Poltegeist got set up with a bunch of boosts off of Shell Smash. I mean, I guess we could just pack a normal type Pokemon that it was incapable of hitting as well. That's also an option. Ah, well. Again, none of this is going to matter. Because we're only using 2 of these Pokemon. Oh, welcome to the stream, Rafkin. Sorry. Okay, it looks like I haven't missed you too long. You know, it would kind of make sense if something like Inner Focus, if there was an ability that prevented you from getting fully paralyzed when you were paralyzed. Dude just stripped in front of a student. I'm pretty sure that's a violation. I mean, it's not going to be much of a battle, Clive. Oh, I should have gone for Thunderwave first, then Reflect. Oh well. It'll give me some protection against foul play, make sure it does even less. I mean, I quad resist it, it's not a huge issue. My full paras in this run are just kind of insane. Anyway, off to you, Peter. And that's the entire reason that we have substitute prepped, otherwise I probably would have gone for a coverage option. I think I want 4 Trailblazes, just to be on the safe side. I shouldn't need them, but Meowscarada is stupidly fast. You know, I honestly wonder... So, Meowscarada's hidden ability, which it doesn't have in this fight, but it does have, is Protean. And I really do wonder... what would it be like if Protean was given to a slower Pokemon? I'm trying to think. I feel like I know of a slow Pokemon that gets Protean. I guess Kecleon is slow. But, like, theoretically, I wonder how it would play if a slow and, like, otherwise generally good Pokemon got it. So the trick of this whole thing is just that I'm gonna have to start attacking soonish. Like, I can't just boost to the max and not worry about it, because foul play is gonna break my substitute in 1 or 2 hits in this matchup, I think. And I need mainly just enough special attack to one-shot the Houndoom. I suppose that's really what I should have been playing around with my team building. I should have been playing around the assumption that I might just barely take out the Houndoom. Luckily, Substitute should be free to use, because he should try to yawn me whenever he has the chance. So at the very least, it shouldn't be getting hit on the turn when I use it. And we do get extra turns thanks to the full paras. Like, I've done what's necessary to put things in my favor to make sure I can get a lot of boosts up. The fact of the matter is, this thing is really abusable for special setup sweepers. Because its only move, if it can't put you to sleep, is foul play. Well, its only offensive move. I'll go for max special attack, because why not? It'll give me an excuse to get up to... It'll give me an excuse to get up a spare substitute. That's pretty much full anyway. Oh, might even be full. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. My brain had it locked in that my substitute was going to get broken that turn. Like I said, he's not a threat. And neither is Penny. Like, I do kind of just want to go straight into the Penny fight after this. How did you survive that? Like, I'm at +6/+6. How did he survive that? See, now with Aurora Veil up, there are a couple of these Pokemon that might survive some hits. Sorry, I'm just trying to stall out his Aurora Veil a bit. Okay, so there's this really cool thing I can do now. Oh, the fact that I've got this backup with essentially no planning is stupid. Okay, so we do that. We use eject button to bring in No Nap safely. We fire off a Thunderbolt. And here's the fun thing. So yes, this thing is theoretically super threatening, but I Volt Switch out, it's gonna go for a Shell Smash. It always does. Oh. Oh well, we can take it. Here's the thing. I saved my terrestrialization for this scenario. Because if I Terra and refuse to start attacking, it can't touch me. Well, I guess it can use Will-O-Wisp. But I can survive that by... I can survive that on Leftovers Recovery. It's the same damage as Leftovers Recovery. I should try and get a cheeky Trailblaze off, see if I can outspeed it. Oh, right, it's got weak armor. I'm gonna have to listen to a lot of the low health sound effect. And it's gonna burn through all of its remaining Sucker Punch just standing there. I think that was the last one. Oh, apparently it had more. I wasn't counting super carefully. Now just don't crit, okay, Sylveon? We still want a couple of Calm Mind boosts. It's already taking a lot of damage from Trailblaze. Oh. Did I crit the last time or something? Oh no, I hit it with Volt Switch, never mind. Okay, well, 2 speed boosts I'm hoping is enough to outspeed the Meowscarada. just a boosting war, but only one of the Pokemon has a way to hit the other one. At a certain point, this will just turn into its stats dropping. You know, this wouldn't work if they had given it an extra coverage move instead of Will-O-Wisp. Bye. Okay, so the plan now is to take a look at the Pokemon League, just to be sure I'm on the safe side with, presumably over-leveling the heck? Wait, this chick is the 7th gym leader. So exciting. The teacher is living a double life. I definitely care about the teachers at this school. They severely underuse the school aspect of this game, honestly. Like, yes, I know there are things you can do, but the fact that 100% of the school stuff is essentially optional. I really feel like they could have used it better. I wouldn't want to be forced to do all of the school stuff either, but okay. I want to look through the Elite Four. Just make sure I have a clear picture of how we're gonna do stuff. Oh, oops, I clicked on their types, not the characters. Really? And those were their pictures. Click on the name, I guess. Okay, so she leads Whiscash. Whiscash, Camerupt, Donphan, and Dugtrio. The Donphan is potentially problematic. The Clodsire less so. Neutral nature and 20 speed IVs. Okay, the Donphan is level 57, neutral nature, 20 speed IV, or 20 speed IVs, yeah. So it hits 73 speed. Because the obvious choice for this fight is just to pivot in between bye, Clive. The obvious choice for this fight is just to take out the lead Whiscash with Florget using Giga Drain with Jane. Terra Grass, Giga Drain. Okay, so I already outspeed that thing. Which means I probably already outspeed most of these Pokemon other than Dugtrio. I could always throw Trailblaze in the mix. It's a single Trailblaze and a single Calm Mind, and there's not much about this that really threatens me. And I'm planning to try and use just 6 Pokemon to clear the league. So, pretty obviously, I think I want these two. I want to switch in for the Camerupt is the thing. But those two should be able to solo Rika very easily. Like, yes, if needed, I could switch into something to deal with the Dugtrio. But I really don't think that's necessary. Clodsire is water absorbed, not Unaware. So Unaware is the hidden ability. Poppy frightens me. Poppy is a genuinely threatening Pokemon. Or, a genuinely threatening trainer. Although, does she really only have 5 Pokemon? Why do I not remember that? So, the big issue with Poppy is that all of her Pokemon are pretty threatening with their Seal-type moves. But Pockets should be able to deal with... Like, Pockets should be able to take their hits well as pretty reasonably. Especially if we play smart. Like, the obvious choice for that matchup is George with Terrifire, Mystic Fire. I just don't know if that's enough to one-shot all of them. And some of them have some of them have chonky defenses, and some of them have some pretty decent coverage. I might wind up running some calcs for that fight. I should also check and make sure that they all have low enough speed for George to outrun. Larry works as the Flying Elite Four. And he also only has 5 Pokemon. Most of the best options against his team would be Ice-type moves. Which is a little awkward to play around. I want to check something real quick. Yeah, so 3 of his Pokemon are neutral to electric moves, which is a little bit interesting, because No-Nap is my best matchup into Flying-type Pokemon generally, but I wind up having to play some awkward games. The Dragon team I don't anticipate being a huge issue. It's just a matter of playing intelligently around them. In all honesty, I probably just want to put together a decently balanced team and go ham. I feel like it makes sense to hang on to Hook for the Elite Four. And there are some pretty threatening physical attackers. So Nana feels like an obvious play. These 6 seem like pretty obvious choices. I'll have to plan it out a little bit more carefully, but I can definitely clear Penny with just these 2 if I need to. Heck, I could even swap it to these 2. I don't really necessarily need even 2 Pokemon, because the Umbreon is just setup fodder. Like, that's the big thing here. It can barely touch my bulky Pokemon, even without the screens. Yeah, Peter is the better option for it, though, apart from just the poetic justice. The trick is deciding... So, the only tricky thing in this matchup is the Flareon, which has strong physical moves that won't be blocked by my boosts, and resists Fairy-type moves. Now the question is, do I drop Substitute for something like Hyper Voice or Terra Blast? Or do I drop Draining Kiss for something like Moonblast and rely on leftovers for all of my recovery? Or do I just trust in Sylveon's ability to clear the Flareon with a combination of Flare Blitz Recoil and Draining Kiss? I'm kinda tempted to do that one. No, I don't think that Umbreon is ever really going to be threatening, even with hang on, I want to check something. Penny's Jolteon, Hardy, 20 speed, IVs. Level 62. Okay, so her Jolteon will outspeed me at +2, but not at +3. Honestly, Terra Blast should be fine. Smee is there to help me get my feet under me, and because I don't think Smee is going to be as good as Klefki into the Elite Four. That's pretty much it. And I'll bring these three as backup. Make sure I'm properly healed up. and it magically becomes nighttime. Shocking absolutely no one. Although I'll admit, because I was super unobservant, I didn't really think about the fact that she was definitely going to be an evolution trainer. Oh, you know what? I forgot to remember light screen. Oh well. I don't know why I'm bothering to do this roundabout stuff. Yeah. Okay, one Trailblaze should be enough to make sure that I'm Calm Minding before it's Psychicking. You know, it occurs to me that I absolutely should have paralyzed this thing with Dedenne, though. 3 Trailblazes are enough to outspeed the Jolteon, which is the fastest thing she's got. And then we throw up a substitute for some insurance. And go to town. So the unfortunate thing here is there's a chance Jolteon's quick attack breaks my sub, and it will probably go for it because I've got so many special boosts. Dang it. Okay, well, I mean, we outspeed the Leafeon. That's not the issue. It's just if her Sylveon survives a move and crits with Moonblast, that could turn out to be annoying. So we might try and get off a substitute when Sylveon comes out. Okay, she's going for quick attack. Your Sylveon cannot stand against my Sylveon's unmatched Riz. The fact that I've had two Pokemon who have had the ability Q-Charm this entire game, and that is the first time that it's ever activated, is kind of insane when you think about it. Oh no! Anyway. Sorry, you led with setup fodder, Penny. It's not my fault that this is how this is turning out. I really thought that would make me over level. But no, I think I'm still just gonna be level 61 on Sylveon. Yep, okay then. And for once you're giving me actual money instead of stolen league points. The fact that Director Clavel was genuinely more threatening than her is kind of insane. Come on, I still don't care about the backstory of these people. And none of them saw the little Eevee ears from her backpack poking through the window. Yeah. So the Elite Four has some threatening stuff, although they tend to wind up being less threatening than you'd normally think. Come on. He's stripped in front of 2 students now. This guy should be on a register. Come on. I realize this is supposed to be the climactic end to the storyline and stuff, but I just don't care that much. Also, I take back everything that I said about the other outfits, because technically Penny's is easily the least agreed, easily the best out of all of Team Stars. Just a hoodie, some leggings, an adorable backpack, like, she's got actual style. Giacomo should get a different haircut, but otherwise he's kind of fine. I mean, wearing a winter vest under a coat is kind of dumb, but it's not a terrible look, unlike the rest of them. I do look forward to the Arvin battle, if only because I'm pretty sure in the end it'll come down to his dog versus mine, and that actually feels satisfying. This region had some good dogs. Wait, do I have to go to his office? Okay. I can ignore that. I'm done with that plot line now. Wait, is it not done? You know what? I can go back after. I want to take care of other stuff. Alright, let's see if I can piece together how I want to do this. Kind of funny, but according to this trainer document at least, every trainer has AI flags to represent their difficulty, but the AI flags all seem to be set to not work. Oh wait, no, it's just for okay, it's just for... That's a separate flag, but they're all set to false. Will I use just 6 Pokemon? I know I can switch between the battles. Oops. Not where I meant to put you, but okay. So I guess I should show y'all this. Show y'all what I'm looking at. I am going to step away from Pokemon Center. Maybe go somewhere with better music. I feel like Medali had decent music. Obviously, I'll need to run away from a Pokemon Center again, but... Sorry, I know you can't see the gameplay. Nothing interesting is happening. I just wanted to change the music. So, let's talk about the Elite Four. Rika is up first, so she does have the lowest levels of Pokemon. Doug Trio at level 57 with 20 speed IVs and a neutral nature hits 153. So that's definitely too fast for Jane to outspeed even with a choice scarf. Just barely, but it is too fast. So Dugtrio would be able to get off an attack even if I was scarfed, but the real issue is playing around a couple of specific interactions. Mainly, if we lead Jane, I'm gonna clear out my webcam so y'all can see a little bit who I'm talking about. If we lead Jane, it can easily deal with the Whiscash. Whether we terrastalize or not, it can deal with it. Giga Drain is just very good at clearing that. But the trouble we encounter then is how to deal with what comes in next. Because it's either Dawn Fan coming in next, or if we terrastalize Jane, Camerupt comes in next. Now, if we could somehow bring in something that would bait, if we could use something that would bait either Iron Head or Poison Jab, we could play around that. The trouble is, the only Pokemon that baits, just Poison Jab is Tiger Lily. The only Pokemon that baits just Iron Head is Hook, and both of them are tricky to use here. I think Tiger Lily is easier. Real quick. You don't have any moves worth remembering, but do you learn Grass Knot? You can learn Grass Knot. So, you know what could be a play here? Oh, this is interesting. Because we want Tiger Lily around either way to deal with the Camerupt, who would otherwise be a bit of a problem. Okay, hang on. I think I've cracked this. No, not play rough. Ring dance. Do I go with that, or do I give it a moveset that's suited to... So it's either this, or we give it an Assault Vest moveset. Because Assault Vest would do well into the two Pokemon that it might have to face. So here's what I'm thinking. I suppose I should use my words instead of just looking at stuff. If we lead Tiger Lily and have it deal with the Whiscash, that will bait in Donphan specifically to use Poison Jab. Doesn't make sense for it to go for any of the other moves. Poison Jab is the strongest. That gives us a free switch into a Steel type, probably holding... like pockets, probably holding an air balloon. That will bait it to get... Yeah, holding... this is tricky because... Oh, wait, that brings in Pockets, and actually Pockets probably should be leading and not holding the... well, yes, holding the air balloon, but it should lead to set up a layer of spikes to break Donphan's sturdy. Sorry, I'm looking at my options here. Love how the only Pokemon on our team that can learn any useful ice moves, I think, is Azumarill. Oh, the dragon fight's gonna turn out weird. It's kind of the scenario that we're dealing with here. So I'm just trying to find a way to make sure that we can safely deal with the Donphan Sturdy. There's a chance that we don't need to, just because if we bring in Jane unterastalized, then it's going to go for Iron Head instead of Poison Jab. In which case we get a big hit as we terastalize. We only take a neutral hit from Iron Head. But admittedly, we do still encounter some trouble when Dugtrio comes in. Also, trying to bring Tiger Lily in when Whiscash is already out means switching in on an Earth Power, and that'll do a good chunk of damage, which makes it trickier and makes me want to use the Assault Vest setup more. Just because it's not likely to go for Muddy Water regardless. It's kind of tricky. Either way, once Donphan comes in on Tiger Lily, we switch out to Pockets on a Poison Jab, and as long as our air balloon is intact, we can switch to whatchamacallit. As long as our air balloon is intact, we bait the Iron Head. We can switch in You know, I actually wonder how a eject button works. Hang on. I just want to test something real quick. You should have something that can hit Mimikyu. Okay, it does activate. Mimikyu might be a really good option for pivoting with eject button 2 then. Because as long as we can get... The trick is getting... Jane... Sorry, I just did some testing. I forgot to remove the capture here, but... As long as we can get Jane in on something that isn't an Iron Head or a Poison Jab, we bait the Iron Head, we can Terrasilize out of our weakness in order to hit the Donphan, who I'm assuming we do outspeed. I checked this, right? Donphan 57. Yeah. Okay, we outspeed that. In the grand scheme of things, those are the threats. Dugtrio's Rock Slide doesn't scare me too much. I mean, ideally, I would save it for... Ideally, I would avoid getting hit by it, but it's not a massive problem. There's that expert belt, because that feels more useful here. I could also go with Life Orb, but I'd prefer not to be taking chip damage. The thing is, Jane has good enough physical defense to take the hits from to take a couple of hits from Dugtrio, as long as I'm not getting stalled out. Yeah, I think that setup should be fine for that first matchup. The one I really need to plan around is Poppy. You know, I'm kind of tempted to end stream early today just because I want to give this some more thought, and I don't think it's fun to do that on stream. Like, I really do want to deal with... I want to think through the Elite Four a little bit more, mainly because Poppy needs some more planning. And doing that on stream is boring. It just is. Like, her Caparaja is already a major threat. We've only got one terastallization, and ideally we'd want to use it on George, because George can then hit with super effective stab moves, but even then... We want to get up at least one layer of oh geez, at least one layer. This would be so much easier if we just had a flying Fairy-type. Oh, so many of the things that I want to do wind up having to pivot around ground coverage in the late game. Where is my Togekiss game? Suppose I could buy a second eject button. Now, I'm just trying to figure out if there's a way to burn Caparaja and get up rocks for our own side. And what are the speeds on these things? So Tinkatink... For what it's worth, Pokemon, don't come after me. I didn't... Wait, where the heck did... Oh, right, I moved this to a second screen. Okay, never mind. Y'all won't see the... Y'all aren't going to see the document containing all of the trainers, but for the record, I didn't make that Pokemon, so no coming after me. It would just be dumb. Okay, so her Tinkatink is level 59. Her Tinkaton, I mean. Tinkaton, 59, and has 25 speed EVs, which means it hits 130. I should go ahead and get all of these guys up to the level cap real quick. Let's take care of that. Just get all of my Pokemon up to the level cap. Peter is already there. Yeah, and doing this would also give me a chance to grind a few more raid dens. Not right now, although that is a handy thing to pick up at this stage of the game. Oh, for the record, the reason I was looking at getting spikes up is for the Magnezone, because the Magnezone is a definite threat. Just because it's got really strong coverage and sturdy. Anyway, hide that now. Okay, those guys are at level 61. Alright, everyone's up to the level cap. I probably should have left someone below the level cap in case I wind up wanting to farm anything. Oh, I'm tempted to just change games for a little bit or something. I don't have another game prepped. Unless y'all want to watch me try and speedrun Silk Song, but I think I would want auto split set up for that. And I haven't got the auto split together. You know, I just don't feel like my brain is in it today. I've been streaming a lot the last few days, and while I do love it, and I'm glad that I have this bit of time to do so, I'm kind of tempted to make today's stream a short one. What are we up to anyway? Yeah, a little over 2.5 hours. It's a tricky call. You know what? Gonna stop it there. Gonna get some dinner at a reasonable time for the first time all week. And if I feel like it after the fact, we might come back or we might not. But yeah, I think I'm just gonna keep it short today. My brain is struggling to come to terms with this. I think I'll do better if I give myself an extra day to figure this stuff out. So, yep. In the meantime, I appreciate y'all, and I hope you enjoyed. We should be back tomorrow. There really shouldn't be any question of that, especially since tomorrow is just one of my normal stream days. But yeah. Hope y'all enjoyed, and I hope to see you next time. Later, folks. Bye.